That's Adam and Wojciech.
Yeah, surnames don't run off the tongue that easily.
No, please.
My fault.
My fault.
Try not to speak, please.
Morphine ED's pumped into these, so I'm surprised they could speak at all.
Help Wojciech, please. And it'll help your breathing.
BP 70/50, high tire pulse, pyrexia HP7.
What went into his abdomen?
When the paramedics got to them, they were literally locked together.
Ribs struck the brunt. Cage is no longer an accurate description.
Always looks after me, the big bird.
I slipped. We fell.
He saved me.
Lie still.
X-ray confirms rib fracture.
His breathing's laboured.
Pneumothorax.
I'll give you one later.
What did he say?
He said he wants coffee. Typical Paul.
I thought vodka was a national addiction.
Racist.
Right, my colleagues are going to put a tube in to ease your breathing. Today seems to be the day for cardiothoracic trauma.
Obviously, it's just a feasibility study.
Obviously.
Stayed up all night.
And brought it in on your day off. Can't fault your enthusiasm, but I must say that some of your case studies are a little long in the tooth.
Don't miss a trick, do you? There's a conference on trauma management in Oxford today. I'm heading there now.
Let's hope you'll glean something a little more convincing while you're there.
I've had an offer from Newcastle. If CT's doomed, then what's to keep me here?
Henrik. Sir Fraser. You get taller every time I see you. What do you do at night? Hang yourself up by your toes? Not bad for starters. But where's the meat? Well, the hospital's a living organism. You can't simply cut off heads and legs and expect it to continue running smoothly. What significant cuts have you actually made? Connie Beecham, Mark Williams, Joseph Byrne... No, they all resigned. Well, that's how it looked. I appointed you as the grim slicer to bring Holby to FT status within a year. You've had 9 months. Your books still don't balance. It's not simply your reputation at stake here. If you want to stay captain of this ship, you've got to start plugging gaping holes. There are other ways of achieving FT status besides cuts, new initiatives. If you're talking about plastics, I've read Angus's reports. Well, no, I don't just mean figures look promising. But I don't see how they affect the efficiency of any other department. Well, perhaps you should see a little of the way we work. So, what's going on here, then?
This is, the Polish roofer you saw in AAU?
Oh, yes, of course, our brothers from Gdansk.
Actually, they're not brothers, and they're from Gdynia.
Great, smashing. I'll be with the chief bean counter.
Is that Sir Fraser Anderson?
Yes, indeed it is. So, now, what's our plan for the patient, please?
It's a complicated case. We need to liaise with general and plastics.
Chest reconstruction.
Eventually. He's got severe skin and muscle damage, but we need to stabilize him internally first. I bumped into Sahira downstairs. She mentioned you were considering her cardiac trauma study.
Alongside other strategies, yes.
I can't imagine any other hospital in the region having the skills to deal with a patient as mashed up as this guy.
Good morning. My name's Hanssen. I'm Director of Surgery, and I'll be overseeing your care. We met downstairs.
Well, the good news is we can rebuild him.
Conference room, 10 minutes, please. So, we make good the liver, spleen, and colon, and then move on to the lungs.
Thought this was your patient. He's been liberated, apparently.
Are you suggesting we do everything in one operation?
Since we have the facility.
Plastics included.
We spend 2 hours screwing ribs and creating flaps only to discover some internal trauma has been missed.
It surprises me to hear myself say this, but I agree with Sunil.
Do you have no faith in your abilities?
There is a high degree of uncertainty in this case.
It's precisely why it would be very valuable to have the relevant disciplines to hand, wouldn't you say?
I don't get it.
Is this some new drive to save on theatre time?
Efficiency is always a consideration, yes. Sir Fraser, may I introduce our plastic surgeons, Mr. Michael Spence, Mr. Sunil Bhatti.
I gather you've read our business plan.
This is our most experienced cardiothoracic surgeon, Mr. Elliot Hope. Henrik thinks I ought to see the product in action before he takes you to market.
If Sir Fraser is interested in observing plastics, we have an elective scheduled at midday.
Yes, I've cancelled it. You won't have time for both. Mr. Spence, I assume you'll be happy to assist me with the general surgery?
No, I'm going to work on the reconstruction.
Myself excluded, you're the best general surgeon here at Holby. At least that's the impression I've given Sir Fraser, and I'm sure he'd prefer to see us all batting for the same team.
Presenting atrial fibrillations, palpitations, and his stats are increasingly erratic.
How is Wojtek?
It's you I'm worried about at the moment.
Eddie, no, I'm too tired. Can't concentrate.
He said you saved his life.
He's crashing. All right, so what clever dick in ED gave him a potion that we don't know about?
I'll check.
What about a talk screen?
Charging. 100. Clear. Charge again. 100. Clear. He's back.
He was clocked on AAU.
Well, he is your patient. Be ashamed to lose him before the big operation. Take a look, just as I thought.
When is my operation?
Mr. Savitsky, are you taking any medication you haven't mentioned to us?
I don't understand.
Did you take anything before the accident? Drugs, I mean, more precisely, methamphetamine?
What's that?
Speed.
It's in your blood. I'd like to know how it got there, please.
I don't know.
Look, I don't think you really appreciate how serious this could have been for all of us. The fact you've kept this from us means you could have died.
I came here to make some money to go back home. I'm not some kid doing drugs.
But you said you were extremely tired, one last job to finish.
Yes, had some coffee.
Mr. Hanssen. Sorry, Sir Fraser just rang wanting to know when we're going into theatre. He's got an important meeting, apparently.
Tell him 30 minutes, please.
Wait, you're going to go through with this?
Any decent anaesthetist can cope with a dose of amphetamines.
Really? Raised BP, heart issues? This is an unstable patient with multiple issues. God knows what's going on internally, and now we just found out that he's lying about his history.
Which is why he needs a multidisciplined team.
Yeah, I've got the sales pitch.
So what's your point?
Well, if I was putting on a show for the master of the universe, I would choose firmer ground. If this goes chest up, it's not just the patient that's going to be flatlining. Now, the business plan for plastics is rock solid, and I am not going to stand by while you try to bolster some whim of Sahira.
I think for a moment I would compromise the patient's health for the sake of personal politics. See you on the ice. Suction.
There is a tear in the right lobe and subcapsular hematoma.
Surge yourself, please. You're going to need to suture this fast to prevent decompensation.
This precisely illustrates the problem we're up against. A talented surgeon like Mr. Spence holding stitches for another department when he could be far more profitably employed working with me 24/7.
There's a lot of blood.
How much longer, people? Our patron is displaying dangerous symptoms.
Plant, please.
3 LPDS mounted, please.
I'll take the first one.
Oh, we could have rebuilt Birmingham the time this is taking.
Look, once Mr. Hope has repaired the lungs, you can get on with your reconstruction.
Okay.
All right. Is everything okay? Better hurry this up. Our patient's waking up.
Is this the methamphetamine?
What methamphetamine?
It's not the methamphetamine. Give me the stitch. Keep him under for as long as you can.
Clamp.
You're max on anesthesia.
Right, apply positive pressure.
Damn.
This is embarrassing.
Well, we have to secure the lung before we can pack the wound.
You don't have any more time.
Apply positive pressure again, please.
Damn.
Not again.
He's good?
Good, okay.
Not quite the state-of-the-art reconstruction we were hoping to demonstrate.
Tactical retreat. The patient is stabilized.
So you're going to give up in front of Sir Fraser?
Meanwhile, precious staff are wasted and standing idly by. Anybody watching this would think that Holby had money to burn. So much for teamwork. We've been bowled up where we could even play our best strokes.
How is your patient?
Stable.
After this morning's fiasco, I was expecting worse.
Mr. Bhatti, And Mr. Spence told me you cancelled the midday elective in favour of this charade.
Simple facial reconstruction versus life-saving operation. Straightforward clinical decision as director of surgery. It's the sort I make every day.
Was it clinical need that made you push on with complicated surgery when you knew the patient was a drug addict?
A trace of amphetamine wouldn't have led to the events we witnessed in theatre today.
And so what did?
I don't know.
I don't know what game you're playing, but I don't like being toyed with. I came here today to find out why you failed to bring this hospital to FT status. Instead, you waste my time with this razzle-dazzle. Worse, you put a patient at risk.
That is not. Everything I've done today has been in the patient's interest.
I hope for your sake he makes it.
No, I wouldn't. Please just lie completely still. You're stable, but you will need further surgery. In the meantime, we've covered your open chest with a vacuum-assisted closure.
What?
We wrap the wound in cling film, and then we use a pump to suck out the air to try to keep it sterile.
I thought you could fix me. One operation. That I wake up wrapped up like I don't know what.
Well, there was a problem. I'm afraid we couldn't keep you under anaesthetic.
To go home. Am I going to die?
I promise that I will do everything in my power to help you.
Daddy's back. I take it Sahira's seed fell on stony ground? Shame if it did. Because I, for one, would love to keep working here.
And I suggest you focus on saving this patient.
You think that'll make a difference? I mean, in the grand scheme of
We're
things?
in the business of saving lives. It'd be nice if we could demonstrate that.
No clues in Adam's history as to what might have caused him to wake up?
We'll be there.
Still don't think it was the speed?
Now, would you like to explain this? Right, let me put this as clearly as I can. Without further surgery, you will die, but you will not be going back under anaesthetic until we find out why you woke up during your operation.
You're the doctor, you tell me.
How much of this stuff have you been taking?
You left this in the ambulance.
It's not mine.
Addressed to you.
It's not my bag. It's Vortex.
Still worried about Wojciech. He's not right.
So am I. But there's nothing confirmed in his x-ray.
Word with your patient, please. Mr. Novak, there's no time for niceties, I'm afraid. I have your close friend and colleague, Adam, upstairs, dying on one of my wards, and I'd like to know why you gave him amphetamines.
I don't understand.
Your bag, your drugs.
His blood. Do you want your friend to die?
I just put it in his coffee.
Without him knowing? So Adam wasn't lying.
He's complaining. He's tired.
So you spiked his drink? Some friend?
No, I do it for him because I care. We must work.
How long have you been doing this?
I don't know, a few months. Since he started slowing down. Talking about going home to Sopot.
So you're looking out for number one?
He was always hungry. Always off in a dream, yawning. Sore neck. He gets caught. He loses his job. And I thought if I could, like you say, perk him up, get him through this bad patch.
So you gave him speed?
Just people do this all the time. So what harm can it do?
I think we've heard enough, thank you. I'd like to examine your neck, if I may.
That's not the only part that's actually not in agony.
Please.
Looks nice.
Sopot. Paris by sea. Has a girlfriend in Vienna.
Kazia.
Yeah, we said if we ever got enough money to buy a place in Sopot, we would. I came to England with Boczek. She married someone else. It says marriage broke down. I want to go home.
You said before the accident you were feeling very tired?
It's hard to be enthusiastic about anything.
Any tremors in your hands?
Sometimes, only when I'm hungry.
Could be the speed, judging by the symptoms.
I'd like to order a portable neck scan. Today would be good.
Life. Always the race.
Hyperthyroidism causes the gland in your neck to enlarge.
The old neck tell.
The problems we had in theatre were the result of what we call a thyroid storm. Your condition also explains the shaking hands and the fatigue you were experiencing.
So it has nothing to do with the drugs Boczek gave me?
They would have masked your symptoms, which is possibly why you hadn't been diagnosed before.
Mr. Savitsky?
Another thyroid storm?
He's not pinking.
BP's on the floor.
Must be bleeding internally.
From where? We've stitched everything.
Right, theatre, fast as we can. We've got to miss fire, let's not lose him now.
Where are you taking me?
Theatre 1 is prepped for another patient and ready to roll, or we can wait till Theatre 2 is scrubbed.
OK, we're taking your slot, Miss Naylor. You'll have to wait for Theatre 2.
Why does that never work when I say anything?
Adam.
Why did you stop me from going to Kasia? He can go before me.
No.
I don't want anything from him anymore.
Bracia.
Bracia don't lie and cheat each other. Brothers trust each other to do the good thing. You're not my friend anymore.
Pressure's still dropping.
Please help him.
Right, get him through.
I knew he wanted to go home. But we've got this life together. We've always done things together. Since we were kids. First job. I just can't imagine working with anyone else. Do you understand? And we are working together. No words. Nothing. Like two hands on the same man. Cogs. Working, turning the same machine.
Pity Sir Fraser isn't here to witness this. He'd know what multi-trauma surgery is all about.
Nothing like it.
Perfect.
A little shard of the tibia. Must have been covering the tamponade.
Wojciech's.
Little daggers in the bloodstream. Cutting his veins to ribbons.
Wojciech's literally killing him from within.
Mr. Hanssen's phone. I'll tell him you called. It was a Miss Shah. Would this be the same Miss Shah you worked with in London, Colchester, and Southampton?
Yes, it would. And her proposal on a new cardiac trauma project is something I'd like to discuss with you, if I may.
Well, it's clear what you've been trying to do today, if it wasn't blindingly obvious before.
Well, real-life trauma rarely confines itself to neat departments as defined by the SHA, you know.
You've illustrated the point, in a way.
Well, I'm very glad we're beginning to see things eye to eye.
I'm not so sure. A multidisciplined team saved a man's life today. At what cost? These are figures Mr. Barty put together for me. They show what it'll cost when they eventually get to do the reconstruction on your patient. As opposed to what we can charge for the op, the profit margin is clear. Compare that with CT costs today. Wasted theatre time, all the delays. Yes, but they're justifiable. The man had hypothyroidism. Unfortunately, whatever that is, it doesn't change the figures. The world has changed. Corporate Britain. Business rules. We believe in the NHS because we want a healthy workforce, but beyond a certain pay scale, it becomes uneconomic. I understand if you have a certain loyalty. No, it is not. I'm not a medic. I don't get the same esoteric highs you share with your colleagues. All that interests me is the bottom line. And if you want to stay in charge here, that's all that should concern you.
Grade A ammunition, still in its grease-proof wrapper.
As I'm sure you're all aware, Sir Fraser Anderson and I have been discussing the future of Darwin Ward today. Well, I have to tell you that no final decisions have been made yet. It's popular to say in these belt-tightening times that we're all in this together. It's not a sentiment I strictly adhere to. Sometimes new partnerships have to be forged. Sometimes there has to be a parting of the ways. We must choose our battles very carefully and accept what we cannot change. Which is why I'm asking you to prepare for the likely amalgamation of cardiothoracics with St. James's. For the time being, we will take only elective patients onto Darwin. All other patients must be referred to St. James's, please. I don't think I need to tell you where the future of Darwin might lie.